Hey guys, and welcome back to No Huddle Fantasy Sports. It's Monday, August 3rd. We're talking MLB, DFS, DraftKings, and FanDuel. Specifically, I'll be focusing on pricing for FanDuel, but a lot of these plays, given that it's a smaller slate especially, do apply over on DraftKings. This is a little bit different than most of the videos we've been putting out. I think the current schedule will be on Wednesdays, Fridays, and hopefully a weekend day. I'll be putting out full-length videos, in-depth dives into the slate specifically for MLB. But for most other days, if I'm going to be playing the slate, I've done the research. I'm going to be just giving you guys a quick update. It's really not enough time to put out a full-length video, but to give you guys some of my favorite pitchers, guys I'm focusing on, some stacks and one-off bats, I thought it would be beneficial to run through all that since, as I mentioned, we've done the research here. So you can see here as we click into any random contest, starting out at pitcher, it's very, very narrow tonight for me. There's really only two guys I'll be focusing on. In fact, the lineups I've built have only included two of these guys, and one of them more specifically than others. But I would suggest, honestly, just paying up for Garrett Cole. He's outside of DeGrom, the only elite pitcher on the slate, but I think he's in a better spot playing at home than DeGrom specifically. So Garrett Cole playing for the Yankees in Yankee Stadium against Philadelphia. He really dominates anyone here, so you shouldn't have to worry too much. Yankee Stadium is a little dangerous for most pitchers, but the guy just flat out dominates. You've seen him over the last couple of years. The good thing here, I think the opponent, Philadelphia, would on most days be dangerous, but they started the season pretty slow, and they've had some postponements due to COVID and things like that in who they've played. So they're kind of coming off of a few days rest, and I don't think that's good for the bats. So I think Garrett Cole in a great spot. You shouldn't have to worry, especially on a smaller slate when there's not many other options. Outside of that, we'll be going down to the Oakland-Seattle game. Frankie Montas here. I think he's the guy I'll be fitting into most of my lineups. The price is reasonable at $7,700. It's a good matchup against a very, very bad Seattle lineup. He's had, you can see here, a couple solid games already. Hasn't pitched too deep into games. But in general, giving up 3 runs across 2 games, 9 total innings, a few hits here and there. I think he can, for the price against the Seattle lineup, really, really pay off tonight. But the big thing here, as I mentioned, there's not many other options. I think he fits nicely, especially if you're trying to fit in anyone from that Colorado or Coors Field game. Frankie Montas is the guy I'll be focusing most of my lineups on tonight. Beyond that, outside of that, it's really the stacks tonight that I'm really liking. Couple of stacks I wanted to focus on and give to you guys. First off, it's going to be tough to fit it with Cole himself, but if you want to fit it with Frankie Montas, I do love the Yankees tonight facing off against Arrieta. Arrieta, if we just even click into him, he's been pretty horrendous over the last couple of years. Hasn't been the Arrieta of past when he played for the Cubs. Even then, I didn't think he kind of got lucky for a little bit of time there. But in general, I love the matchup here. You know, Arrieta going into Yankee Stadium is not a good combination. He leads a lot of different statistical categories here, especially against lefties. My numbers indicate over the last year, a 368 WOBA against lefties, 498 xFIP. So he's just showing up. Gives up a lot of contact, a lot of fly balls, hard contact, and home run rate against lefties of 1.7. Just all the numbers spell trouble going into a hitter's park in Yankee Stadium. So if you're considering a good stack, the number one stack, in my opinion, is the Yankees. A very expensive stack, but you put in Judge, you put in probably my favorite player here if you're going to not do Stanton. If you can fit Stanton, obviously fit him in. But in terms of a lefty here, where's he at? $2,700. Really can't pass up Aaron Hicks. He's one of the guys I wanted to highlight with that stack. Another stack I'm heavily considering, and this is going against myself here because I am a Pirates fan, but we have tonight Derek Holland pitching in Minnesota. and that's just going to spell disaster. Again, another hitter's park against a team that just absolutely crushed the ball last year, a home run team in a home run park. Derek Holland is just a guy. He's a lefty that just gives up a ridiculous amount of contact to right-handed at-bats. Every ball seems to go in the air. Ridiculously high home run rate. Specifically against right-handed bats, Holland giving up a 358 WOBA, a 464 xFIP, striking out very few people. His fly ball rate is number 2 on the slate at 43% against right-handers. Hard hit leads the slate at 47%. And a home run rate per 9 of 1.85, also number 1 against right-handers. So you're talking about a guy that gives up fly balls, hard contact, and a heavy home run per 9 rate, playing in Minnesota against a stacked right-handed lineup. Nelson Cruz, if you're going to play anybody and you just want to play a one-off, you have to play Nelson Cruz tonight versus a lefty is money almost any night. But against Derek Holland, I absolutely love it. The third stack I wanted to quickly mention here, though, is the Chicago Cubs. So they are playing at home. I do love playing Chicago bats when you can at home in Chicago in the warmer weather months, July, August, September. It's a good park to focus on hitters. But they're pitching, they're facing up against Duffy. Duffy is just not a good pitcher. He hasn't been a good pitcher for years. Another left-handed bat, but there's a couple guys you can focus on. Chris Bryant, he's expensive, which stinks because he hasn't been hitting well. You can see his 120 batting average here. But he's had a couple hits over the last couple of games. He's in a good matchup. He usually crushes lefties. I do like him a lot, and I do like Wilson Contreras. Here, their catcher, sometimes playing DH for them. He's actually been hitting this season. He's probably their best right-handed bat at the moment. So you got him, those two, and Baez here. So, just 3 deadly right-handed bats playing at home. I think this is going to go under-owned as a stack, but a stack you can certainly focus on. And then last, if you want me to give an opinion on, sorry, I'm backing up too much here. If you want me to give an opinion on Colorado, Coors game, I would go with a Colorado stack over anything here, and that's just simply because of the pitcher they're facing, and that is Johnny Cueto, who, again, a guy that just has been downhill for years here. Blackman, but you pretty much go with anybody. Arenado out of that stack. It is very expensive. You're going to only be able to fit that. I believe I was only able to fit that with Frankie Montas, so maybe not the most cheap stack. You might have to find some creativity here, but if I'm going anywhere with Coors Field, I'm going with the Colorado stack, and you can pretty much fit anybody against Cueto. Some one-off bats I did want to mention here. Dickerson is a reasonably priced bat. I think he's an underrated bat in general. But Alex Dickerson here for San Francisco playing in Colorado, so he's got that big bump. 286 average on the year, but just a guy that hits. He gets a lot of hits. Good contact guy. Has shown power. I like him at 3,200 as a Coors bat. I already mentioned Nelson Cruz here. Nelson Cruz against any lefty is money. But if you're going to play him against anybody tonight, or anybody in general, you want to play him against Derek Holland, mentioned fly ball pitcher, hard contact pitcher, all the right-handed bats. Nelson Cruz has, he just shoots rockets out of his bat. So like him and having a great year so far. And the third guy I did want to mention here, really cheap. You're taking a little bit of a chance, but that's Chris Davis with a K. Hopefully he's moving up in the order. I doubt it. He's hitting 0.48. That's not going to stay. Just look at his career here. A guy that mashes left-handed pitchers, and he's playing a left-handed pitcher in Seattle here. Sheffield is not a good pitcher, but I love Chris Davis, could help you fit Chris Bryant, but $2,500 is just severely underpriced for him. I realize he's not playing too well, but a guy I do like. So those are kind of my favorite bats on tonight, some of the stacks I'll be considering, and then 2 pitchers I'll be focusing on. Hopefully this is helpful for you guys. Keep in mind, we'll be putting out a full-length video on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel. It's the easiest way to help support us, and stay tuned for our next video.